Hello, good day, and thanks for joining us on Info2 TV. This is the main edition of the Daily Trend. My name is Anto Edward Jr. with my co-host,
Miss Afrano Kese Patience.
Miss G.
The main edition of this program actually is brought to you this and every Tuesday at 8:15 a.m. and 4:15 p.m. Catch a repeat on 8:15 a.m. That's on Wednesday and 4:15 p.m. We're going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to today's episode on the main edition of the Daily Trend. Today we have on the board some interesting topics to be discussed here. I have with me my co-hosts who are actually going to share their brilliant ideas on these topics. We have on the board long distance relationship, financial responsibility in relationships, and should it be mandatory for a wife to take the husband's surname? And we'll first start with long distance relationship. Or before that, my co-host actually. You're welcome today on the Daily Trend once again. Yeah.
Thank you.
And long distance relationship, what do you think about it? Before that, maybe somebody out there wouldn't know what long distance relationship is. Probably would want to elaborate that.
Okay, long distance relationship, sleeping put is when you and your hobby stays in a different location entirely. Probably you stay in Togo and your hobby or your husband or your wife, your boyfriend or your girlfriend stays in Ghana, USA, or Nigeria.
Okay, when you say long distance relationships, what I know is when there's an intimate relationship between two partners who are geographically separated from each other. We can say that they are sometimes 125 miles away from each other, and they visit less than twice a month, or even call less than once, or maybe call once in every 3 days. So if you're in such a relationship, we call it to be a long distance relationship.
Okay, well, what do you also think about that?
I think that my co-hosts have already said enough. The main idea here is the distance. So if you're not in the same country with somebody, that counts as a
That's equally
relationship.
good. Sure, I also share the same views with you people. Fine, but first and foremost, would like to know, is it advisable? Is it something that you should actually encourage among us? Is it something that we should actually go for?
Oh, actually, we can't say it's advisable or not, because sometimes you enter into a relationship without knowing whether it will lead to a long distance relationship. Let's say I'm with my girl, my husband, and along the way, he's supposed to travel outside for his studies, or maybe he's working and he has job transfer. That time, I didn't anticipate for that, but it has now come. So relationships, in any time of the day, any relationship can turn into a long distance relationship. So most of the time, we don't enter into a relationship with the mindset that it's a long distance. No, it can come without our notice, without us not anticipating for it.
Oh, okay.
I agree with her, because I think that it's very difficult to be in a distance relationship. So I don't think people necessarily go inside thinking, okay, this is a long distance relationship, I like it, but you find yourself in situations where you have to manage the distance between the two of you.
But I think sometimes we have situations where both parties are actually aware of the fact that it is something that is going to happen. And what do you also think about that, your take on that?
Well, I think it is difficult. That's what I think. But it depends on the two people, really.
Also, in this case, you think that it's advisable?
That two people are far away and they want to be.
In this
Well,
case. In my case,
I think social media, telephone, and other things help into making a relationship somehow better, but it's still difficult.
To you, would you go for something like that?
No, I will not go for a distance relationship.
Okay, if you say if it's advisable or not, to me, if you find yourself in a situation where you have to travel out or you have to be in a faraway country from your lover, it's advisable.
Okay.
Because there are some things you have to do to make sure. It doesn't matter if you are far away, there's a way you can come closer. So that's why you have social media, as you said, social media, as you have Skype, and now you have
WhatsApp calls,
video calls, and everything. You can actually be close to each other even though you are thousands of miles away.
Okay. As you said earlier, sometimes both of you are aware that it's a long distance relationship.
Sure.
Let's say I meet a guy on Facebook, or maybe an anonymous number that I WhatsApped, and then we start developing something for each other. I know this guy is in US, I'm in Togo. So definitely both of us, we are aware that it's a long distance relationship, but because of the internet, we get to...
That gap is actually bridged. So maybe...
Is it about the gap? I don't think it's about the gap. It's like...
Yeah, it's, because from what she's saying, she's trying to mean that regardless of maybe we have social media, means of communication, due to the introduction of technology, we can actually bridge it using our telephones.
I think it's an attempt to bridge it, but does it really work?
That's it.
Would you trust your partner if he calls you in the morning and then calls you in the evening? Are you sure you are the only one he is attending to?
Actually, the fact is that most long distance relationships are bound to failure. I'm not saying there's no... Isn't
that a little bit too general?
I think it's very funny. I think we'll just get to know more about it in the advantages and disadvantages. All right, so viewers, we'll actually look at some advantages and disadvantages of long-distance relationship. So, madam, we'll start with you. What do you think about that? Do you think we have some advantages?
Well, when it comes to relationships, I don't like the term advantage or disadvantages, because you just sometimes bump into it. So for me, it's not something clearly written black or white. This is a good thing, and I can count on that when it comes to long distance relationship.
For me,
so I don't think
I can say that it's sometimes advantageous.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a long distance relationship, you create a high level of intimacy between you two. Because you know that, I'm not around my guy, I'm not around my husband. So anytime he calls or anytime I call, I try to make use of that particular time that we are chatting. Either being a video call, whether phone call. So most of the time, they advise that if you are away from your partner, you either get earpieces. So that we call it parallel communication. Okay. So that even if you are doing your household chores, you can still be talking to your partner whilst you're still doing your...
I like to disagree with your point of view, because it depends on what you call intimacy. What is that for you?
I think I would have to comment, because in a way she's trying to mean that it actually strengthens you. It bonds. Actually, the moment you separate yourself from your partner for a period of time, you tend to actually strengthen your bond self, because
you can strengthen your bond with your siblings as well. That's not a relationship. So
this is what you're talking about.
Yes, I'm just saying that
your family members and your spouse, they are two different things.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is that
if you could actually stay in a long distance relationship for a year, 2 years, and you guys come back to each other, that's a big advantage on its own. You can actually maintain a relationship far away from each other. So I think if you can maintain a relationship far away from each other, and you come back and probably get married, you guys are going to do well.
I don't think so.
Sometimes
I disagree with you.
It helps you to become more independent.
Sure.
Because if you are with your partner, sometimes you decide to make some decisions that he or she won't agree with you. But when you're alone, you tend to do things on your own. You try to be independent. You don't say that, if my guy was here, he would help me do this. Right now, you know that he or she is not around. So definitely try to do whether you can do or not. You even learn how to do it. So it becomes very
maybe that can also be a problem in terms of maybe your partner doesn't want you to do certain things, and now you are alone, so you are doing them. It might bring frustration to him.
Okay, not independent as in bad ways. I'm not talking about that.
What does that even mean? Bad ways? I'm not saying you're going to
I would probably side with patience, because you see, individual growth here, it builds you. Sure. And then you actually develop your persona. You just get to know what you can do without your
I think
partner.
that's what you've been doing your entire life before you got into that relationship. So
definitely you might have learned a lot from your partner. Things that probably you can do, you cannot do without him. He helps you to do something. As far as you guys are together, there are things that he helps you to do.
Like what? I would like to hear an example, because for me, as a normal human being, like as an adult, you should be able to take care of yourself. That's the basics. No. So if you enter a relationship that makes you independent, I don't know what that means. If you give me an example, I might be able to follow your point of view. But for now, it sounds a little absurd to me.
For me, if you cannot be dependent on your spouse, I think why are you guys in a relationship?
What do you mean?
You need to at least leave him to do some things
It's
for
fine,
you.
Elvin. It's actually fine. Yeah, you are actually making a point. There are actually sides or probably times where we are independent, times too where we are dependent. You get it? So when in this situation like this, I think we have times that we are dependent and times that we are independent. So times that we are dependent, that's when our partner is there. We seek help from our partner. We actually we happen to get whatever thing that we need from our partner.
You know what?
In this case that our partner is not around, then it means we are subjected to doing things ourselves.
Like what? I'm just
What
looking for...
Okay, example. I remember there was a day I was in the house. I was in the kitchen preparing something. I tried using the blender, but something happened. I couldn't operate it. So I called my younger brother. Oh, Stanley, come and help me with this. Then when he came, he just turned something little, and then it started working again.
Oh, okay.
So in this case, if I'm with my partner or my husband in the house, and I can't operate the thing, I just call him. Oh, sweetheart, please, can you help me with this? No, just a little thing. So right now, if he's not around, I'll try to maneuver my way through it. I'll try to solve it myself.
That's very brilliant. So that's actually good. But we have some disadvantages. Just look at one or two disadvantages. What do you think that some of the disadvantages?
Distance is the most the most serious disadvantage for me. Distance says it all, because sometimes you might need a cuddle, for example, but your partner is not here. What do? You just manage, and then maybe find somebody or not.
It depends on. Sometimes you need a cuddle, or you need someone to just kiss in your forehead.
Oh my God, forehead! That's so cute.
And you know, long distance relationship is very, very expensive, because I need to chat with my partner, I need to chat with my husband, because I miss him so much.
Sure, it's
and sometimes I can't just do a phone call. I need to see his face.
All right.
You get it? So I'll call him.
It's fine. It's actually important. Yeah, you've given a very good point, and actually brings about loneliness. All right. So thank you very much. We're going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to this same topic we are discussing here. Yes, we are still in this interesting topic where we have on the table financial responsibilities in relationships. Do you always think that both parties are actually must actually participate in this whole thing, this finances or something like that? Okay. Do you think both parties, or probably it's the burden of one person?
Okay, so me, it's not the burden of one person. Two of you are into the relationship together. You guys, I'm not saying the guy should allow the lady share it with him, but normally thinking, I love feminism to some extent. So if a lady should be independent on herself, she does not want a man to do something for her. But when you come to a relationship, she shouldn't leave everything for the man to do. In Africa setting, the normal thing is the man is to pay the house bill, all the utility bills and everything. It shouldn't be like that. So you guys are into it together. I think you guys can share it. It's not that.
I think it depends on the two partners.
Yeah.
Sure. But the financial responsibility both partners must share. Okay. It's not actually an obligation that it should be shared 50-50. Okay. But let's say I'm going out with my guy, I can decide to for the bills. Okay. Though I know it's not actually common, some ladies don't do. But something that I was taught, I was brought up with.
But what would you do? What would you do? Exactly. What do you do? Well, what would you do if you were a guy? Like right now, if you were in a relationship, would you take 50-50? Would you take your guy out? Is that something you would do?
Oh, not actually 50-50, but let's say we are there and I feel like going out and he is not right up bringing it on board. I'll just say, oh, sweetheart, please, can we go out today? The fact that I have proposed, I have to make sure that I can afford the bill before I send him out.
So what about your birthday? If he's not capable of maybe, I don't know, give you gifts like your friends, what would you do?
Okay, no problem. Birthdays is a special day in my life, and sometimes I remember that particular day when my mother was on bed delivering me, the pain she went through. Oh my! So I don't normally joke with my birthday. So if you are there and he's not saying anything, I can say, "Oh, please, let's go out. I'll afford the bus myself. It's my birthday."
You don't need to go out. You guys will be inside the room together. It's your birthday. It's a special moment.
You know,
so it means it's not actually the burden of one person.
It's not the burden.
Yes, both parties are actually involved.
Well, I beg to differ. You know, okay. I read a book by an author that I like very much. It's Ivorian Ibeka. He wrote a book about how to love an African man. Okay. And in his view, as an African woman, the only thing you need to offer an African man is socks. That is it. You don't have to give him anything. So I agree with him. I like this position very much. No. Where I receive all the gifts, he pays all the bills, and I'm here to be pretty because I'm going to give him his children. And that's his priceless.
It's based on the two persons in the
yes, but then this is how it will work for me.
There was a day I was just sitting in my room and she called that she wants to go out. So I quickly collected some cash, withdrew some cash, and we went out. Before I could pay, she paid. Like, wow.
Sure.
But then I don't think it should be something of a surprise. Like, maybe for me, for example, you know now that my point is that I am going to go out expecting you to pay. So if you know this about me, I don't think sometimes guys or even people go in there to be thinking about that.
Going out with your guy, don't put in mind that he's rather going to pay. You should also put in mind that you can also afford it.
This is what I can afford it, but I will not do it.
It renders you a parasite all the time because you happen to be you happen to actually be feeding on your husband all the time. It's fine. Your guy, it's nothing bad, but actually it makes in a way it describes how you are.
But then if you know the person is like that, you don't have to complain. You just know that the person is high maintenance, and then you need to afford enough money to take care of the person.
It's not really that. But I mean, sometimes we do things just to make the whole movement nice. Just for the sake of actually respecting the fact that
she said she knows it, but she won't do it. She's expecting the man to do. You make the man fed up.
Yes, but then if he knows,
for about 4-5 years and
if he knows that I am like this,
so what I know, I don't think that's always the lady or the woman should always be at the receiving end. No, you should always try. Thank you very much. It should be both sides. It actually should be both sides. It shouldn't be like maybe this one and this one. Probably today it's always Edward.
But I am being pretty. I'm contributing by being pretty.
Come on, that doesn't actually contribute to it. It doesn't contribute to that at all.
To do the cooking.
Whether you cook,
whether you cook with
your money, come on, listen. Whether you cook with your money, you cook with his money, you are still the pretty person.
Yes,
you get it.
No, I don't think so. I still stick with my point of view that the man should. So he will work hard and not have ideas about cheating because he will be too busy working and getting money for us to move on.
It's equally fine, but for me, I think that both parties should.
That's what they ask for cheating anyway. That's how they ask for cheating.
It's actually true.
No, he would be able to.
You know something. So
I have enough time on my hand to check his phone and make sure that he's not cheating, but working for us to have enough money to spend because he has an expensive wife. That he needs to take care of.
You know something, usually that's actually it affects some certain situations in the relationship because probably some people think that I wouldn't want to take my husband's first name surname, so because I wouldn't take it because my husband will probably think that I'm cheating. I wouldn't want to take my husband's surname, but your husband will be like, why? Fine, you are subjected to your right, but because you think that if your husband will probably think that she's trying not to take my surname. Why? Because she thinks that by law it is right. He thinks by law it is right, but because the wife is not actually ready for that, he might start questioning himself, probably thinking that what is actually, is there anything wrong with my name? Or probably the lady is probably cheating.
But why is it so important for us ladies to take your name? Why is it so important?
Okay, but what I know, by law,
Eddie,
it is.
I'll not come in there.
Okay.
For example, probably you're getting married to a prince. When you're done getting married to the prince, are you going to bear your own name or are you going to bear the name of the family?
What does that have to do with anything? It depends. If I am Beyonce, I'm keeping my name because I am
Beyonce and the guy's son name. You have to keep. No, you're the queen.
Exactly. No, you don't because it's an entire business. No, I mean, Beyonce knows she's not going to change her name. Because she's not like that. It is her own enterprise. It depends.
Am I correct?
Yes, I'm just saying the whole entire. Yes, exactly. The entire Beyonce knowledge is not going to change. She married a cat. I don't think so.
What I'm saying is That's her first name. Beyonce's her first name. That does not change anything. You can Beyonce and probably Beyonce or Highway.
Okay, hold on.
It's like that.
Then what I'm trying to tell you here is that it depends on whether or not I have, I don't know, an enterprise with my name.
Okay.
If I am a big person known with my entire name, I'm not going to change that for you, for your ego. I'm not going to flatter you for that.
That's actually the solution.
The
Probably
solution
your name
being,
is, okay, you have a brand like Elvis Couture, for example, and you get married to, Sandy Couture, for example.
No.
You get married to someone, you get married
you
to...
did not get it. What I was trying to say is that, for example, you see the presenter Wendy Williams show.
Okay.
Just imagine you have Sandy Adi show. I'm not going to change Sandy Adi show to
You can change it to Sandy Williams at the show.
No, why would I want to do that? Everybody knows the show.
By law, it is actually you're supposed to bear your husband's name.
Why?
By law.
Why?
You know something? It is never mandatory. It is negotiable. It is always negotiable. It is never mandatory. By law, you're supposed to bear your.
Maybe we should ask the law why it is. I'm not anybody's property.
The issue is, when you talk about surname is what? Is the name attached to your Christian name or your first name? So it can be from my dad, it can be from my grandfather.
Oh, okay.
That means I'm taking the name from my lineage. In this case, when it comes to the Muslims, they think that it's even a curse for someone to change the surname from the father's lineage to even take the husband's surname.
Wow.
Yes, that's it. And when you talk about Christians, it's not explicitly said in the Bible that it's mandatory for anyone to take his or her husband's surname.
Sure.
Do you get it? So you can't tell me that I should take my husband's surname because of what?
And don't forget, I think that important but not necessary. They're very important, but
How is this important? I really don't understand why
it is. Want to take your fine. I really side with you in a way, but because you have every right to choose whatever you want.
But you didn't mention that it's lawful.
Maybe we yes, but then the law is always right.
That is when the
law is always right.
It was an ordinary marriage. That's when probably
Elvis, please, I beg to differ. Elvis, I beg to differ.
Okay.
There's no lineage between me and my husband's lineage. No.
Okay. But you
I
guys are
took
getting
the
married.
surname from my
But you guys are married
father's
right now, yeah?
Well,
You guys are married, for example. You guys are
Yeah.
married. Now, what is going to be the relationship between you guys? So you guys are not together. So probably you don't want to address you. They just address you like Mrs. So and so.
Sure.
And with your husband's name. That's the truth. Come on.
Also, the fact that I'm not
Really?
taking my husband's surname doesn't mean that
No,
I can't be called Mrs.
No, you can be called Mrs. But
Yes.
that's actually to show that you're from this man.
from this, what do you mean? He did not buy me. I'm not for him. I mean, like, so the bride price is buying the lady. Is that what it means?
No,
Are you saying that?
officially marry the person. That is exactly
But
what
then
it
being
is.
married to him doesn't mean that I have to take his name. Why should I take his name? Because
I think Elvis is coming from the Western culture. From the Western culture, they've made like a tradition that immediately get married to the person, the lady has to take the man's name. But it's not mandatory.
You know, I think
It's from the Western point of view.
It is not mandatory, but by law it is.
listen, before
You can't say
I suppose.
your husband wedded you. Your husband paid your bride price.
Eddie,
And they would want to actually take your
Eddie, I
name.
beg to differ. You know why it became mandatory in the law for a woman to take their name?
No.
Because before, as a woman, you did not have an identity. You belong to your partner. You
Thank you
belong
very
to
much.
whoever. So you belong to your father.
And
he gave you
Has
to
that
some-
law been changed yet?
But then the law hasn't changed. But that doesn't. Is it right? Is the woman yours?
Listen.
The reason why she used to take your name is that she's yours. Like she's now your belonging.
No, I'm not saying she's now your
Hold on, hold on.
Belonging. We become one.
One, thank you.
We become one. You know, the Bible says we
Well,
shall become one.
I wish he would say that when he cheats on me. Yes.
Listen,
There is nothing wrong
I
with
mean,
that.
okay, if there's nothing wrong with
There is
we
nothing
not
wrong.
taking your names, I think we should all agree that if we don't take your name, it should equally be fine. Like, why is there a problem? If you say there's no problem that we take your name, then there should be no problem if we decide not to
There
take your
will be a
name.
problem,
Yeah.
but by law, it is
No,
mandatory.
but then who makes the law?
So
I just
we-
told you
so
that
we
the
should
origin
be-
of the law is that the woman belongs to
And
you.
has the
It
law
is
been
an
changed? That's
we
what I'm
need
saying.
to change the law. If you
we need to change
if
the
now you
law,
understand,
it remains what it is.
because you don't want to be angry.
I'm coming from the Christian's point of view.
Okay.
And the Christians, we believe that even in the Bible, women were described by where they were staying, or even by their father or by their children.
Okay.
So let's say they say Patience, the mother of James. Do you get it?
Sure.
Patience, who lives in Galilee. Do you get it? So there wasn't anything like husband saying.
Okay, let me cut you now. When Sarah is being addressed in the Bible, Sarah, we don't say Sarah, the daughter of so, or Sarah, the wife of Abraham.
But we never said Sarah Abraham. We just said Sarah. Or what's the same name of Sarah?
If you open to Genesis chapter 34 verse 5, you see there. It's plainly there. There's not. Come
So what's the same name of Sarah?
So-
What's the same name of Sarah?
No, they never write any son name there. They will say Sarah, the wife of Abraham.
Thank you.
The wife of Abraham.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
But then, so we should definitely go back to the point where we used to say.
So
send
for
your wife
me,
home.
I would actually say that actually it's not really mandatory, but by law it is. So let's try.
In the law, it is mandatory.
Of course it is. So you know something, it's equally fine. I've really enjoyed your views concerning these three topics. Actually, I would like to hear your last word for the viewers. Probably they would want to hear something small, probably advice actually to work on. So any of them?
Okay, I will start from the last topic.
Okay.
Is it mandatory for a wife to take the husband's surname? Since I'm a Christian and I read the Bible, and I've never seen in any part of the Bible that a wife should take a husband's surname. So I think this issue should rather based on, they should consider it on cultural considerations and the wishes of the wife and the husband. Let's say because of love, I'll decide to maybe attach my husband's surname to my name. That's not a big deal, but it's not actually mandatory.
Okay, that's all right, madam. So what do you have for the viewers?
I think for me, I would say relationships are hard, whether marriage, dating, it's difficult. If anything, you should talk it out, discuss it as a couple,
So it
as
should be
together.
negotiable.
It should be, whatever the issue is definitely negotiable. But don't feel like you have to do it because your partner says it. But you can talk it out if you...
Okay. All right, so viewers, it's negotiable. You can equally do same with your partner. All right, Mr. Elvis, what do you have for us?
Okay, for the long distance relationship.
Okay.
Probably you find yourself in a long distance relationship. There are some advice. Make sure you're in contact with each other daily. Do things together. You can talk sport together. Do things. Just make it romantic. Make it romantic. And for the financial aspect, sharing the utility bills with your partner, it depends on the couples. If the couple wants to share it, if the lady or the guy wants to share it with the guy. Some guys are proud. I say no, I want the man, I want to do it. So if it's like that, just leave it to the man. But if it's not like that, the guy is not that financially buoyant, you can share it. There's no big deal about it. And for the if the wife should take the surname of to me, it should.
Okay. That's interesting. You still hold on to your ground. It's fine,
You should.
It's fine.
But
It's fine.
it has to do with the couples.
Okay.
If the wife has an interpreter, as she said, and the man actually understands the wife, and or they can come to a consensus that we should just leave it like that.
All right.
To me,
okay, it's fine.
go
All
myself.
right, viewers, it has actually been interesting. Today's show has been, in fact, extraordinary, having these brilliant co-hosts with me and having talked about this. I'm very sure that you've learned a lot today. Myself, it's equally important. Both parties are actually supposed to finance everything in the relationship. And then to take your husband's name, whatever it is, if it's by law, it is mandatory. And so, thank you very much for watching us. Today's episode, that's the main edition of the Daily Trend. Keep watching us and see you next week.